Alrighty. Well, we got one watcher. Don't be shy. Come on in. Have a little chat, a little tea, coffee. How are we doing this evening out there? Well, Mr. Kim Fife. Good eve. How's it going? I'm kind of new at this streaming stuff here, so you'll have to bear with me. I'm trying to get something together here. I'm going to eventually end up having more of a, instead of a chit-chat, I don't mind doing a chit-chat every now and then, but it's going to be more of a themed show. As you know, I do a lot of homesteading stuff and the chickens and all that kind of stuff, the garden and everything. So it'll be more of a themed show, and I just got to find a niche and find a time within the week. No, I didn't, Kim. I lost all my channels down to non-mono. I mean, took the mono. Yeah, they took it down, took it off. You know. Hey there, cool dad. I'm down about, I think last thing I figured I need about 50,000 hours. So, I'll get it. It won't take long. Like I was saying before, I'm going to try to do more of a themed style, try to do it once a week, maybe twice a week. I don't want to do a show every night and every evening, mornings and all that. It's not bad. It's a lot of fun, but it's just not me. I don't mind doing the themed shows and stuff, but you got to do what you got to do, I guess, to get your videos back on and monetized, I guess. They didn't take anything away from you, did they, Kim, after they tallied up all the scores and everything? Everything kept the same? Another one of my favorite names for a channel, Yakkin' with Sarah. How you doing, Sarah, tonight? Love that name. How'd you do on your supporters, though, Kim? Did you after today? Did you lose any at all? I lost quite a few. I mean, I've still got way over the mark, but I lost. I'd say probably 25, 30. Very good, Sarah. Very good. Better than I probably deserved to be. Having a good day. It's been my birthday all day. Well, until midnight, it's my birthday, I guess. The only thing I asked for my birthday was to have a nice day. And it's been the warmest day of the year so far. We hit 60 degrees today. So I was pleased with that. Last time we saw 60 around this neck of the woods was back in probably late September, early October. So 60 degrees is a fantastic day. A lot of melting up here. Ice has gone down a little bit today. Good morning, Tim. How you doing? Thank you. Thank you for the birthday wishes. All right, good. Because as they're cleaning out a lot of the channels and stuff that they, I don't want to get technical with the whole thing and everything, but did you get an email today or the last few days from anybody as far as what they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it? 81 degrees today. Well, you can have that weather, Tim. I just soon stay in the 70s myself. thank you for Babette for the happy birthday wishes too. I want to thank everybody for coming out and showing a little support there. I appreciate it very, very much. How's everybody's days been going? Smoothly, I hope. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. Well, some of the reasons they mentioned in that email is why a lot of some of the channels are going to lose some of their supporters and stuff. But yeah. You probably will, Kim. It's nothing. It's nothing big or anything, but it's just, it's just a lot of stuff going along. Hey, we'll get all through it. How you doing, Rain? How you doing, Heidi? No coffee, chai tea, a little bit of spiced tea tonight. I don't generally drink any coffee after 6. I do love my spicy teas, various different spice. I'm not a big green tea drinker, but I do like different spice teas. Ah, headed to Kentucky. That ought to be a nice trip. Yeah, the tea that I get's all in a bag and everything, but it's I can't remember the name of it. It's fairly natural, but I do put a sprinkling of cayenne in it, just a smidge. I like a little bite to it. How's Mr. Rain, Heidi? Patrick doing all right? I did change up the chat in the window off the left, if everybody has noticed. All the supporters are now in red, and the wrenches will be in blue. And, of course, I think mine is yellow. I'm not exactly sure. I changed that up a little bit and changed the background and put a little bit of, transparency on it and whatnot. I think I'm going to leave it just like that. I think it's going to come out pretty good. A noodle board. Yeah, it's much easier, and it makes more sense, too, when you go to, if you missed the stream and you come on to see what's being talked about, see who's been here. That's another thing. You can go back through and see the different people that participated in the chat and whatnot, and you can also follow along a little bit better. That's the way. That's the way I take it, anyways. So what's that, number 2 or number 3 on the noodle board there, Heidi? Do you have a live stream going tonight, Kim? You and Dog? I don't want to step on anybody's toes. I'm trying to squeak them in there, here and there and stuff. It's so many people are live streaming now, so it's hard to not step on people's toes and whatnot. So I try to put a number 2. That's what I thought. Yeah. Do you make very many noodles? Do you make pasta and noodles and stuff? Do you make the old-fashioned, like the old Dutch noodles and stuff? The nice, wide, fat ones? Some of those noodles are so big, down south they wouldn't even call them noodles. They would call them dumplings. I know down south the chicken and dumplings aren't anything like a Yankee chicken and dumpling. I don't know about your way, Rain, but when we have chicken and dumplings here, we have like a thick gravy-ish kind of soup base, but it's kind of thickened. But we have the large dumplings, almost like a biscuit that gets dropped in and it fluffs way up. It gets fluffed way up into a large dumpling. Nice and fluffy on the inside that you can split open, put a little butter in it. I noticed the southern ones are more of a noodle base where they're kind of flattened out. That's what it reminds me of, is just a thick noodle. Yeah, for the ones for raviolis. I love raviolis. It's not bad if you can get, raviolis are pretty easy to make if you can get set up for it. It's just a pain in the butt to make the whole sheets and get your filling set up and, use the cutter, use one of those cutters and sealers all in one, that type of thing. I used to make a nice, how you doing, Pat? How you doing? What is the way it should be, you talking about the chicken and dumplings? Slippery ham, pot pie, and big square noodles. There you go, Tim. How you doing, Biddy Boo? We go back to the raviolis there, Rain. I don't know if you like the very much Chinese food or anything like that, but I have a liking to the filling that goes in, like the crab ragoon filling. You take that exact same filling base and put it in a ravioli, and oh my, I'll tell you, that is got a very, very nice flavor. Make a little dipping sauce with that the soy sauce that you make up there. Add a few spices to it, a little bit of Thai chili, and either pan fry those like a dumpling, or boil them and then pan fry them. Either way, and then dunk them in that, and that's a pretty good treat. Yeah, that's the way I like it too. I like a nice big fluffy. So when you put that dumpling on your plate, and there again, my chicken and dumplings go on a plate. They usually don't go in a bowl because it's nice and thick. You got big chunks of potato and big pieces of chicken and whatnot. So it's more of what I call a plate stew. And I take that big dumpling and just split it open, put a little nice creamy butter on top. Get yourself a meal right there. Oh, I got that a little spicy tonight. I think I didn't have my glasses on when I was putting the cayenne in there. I think I got a little too much. That's all right. Clean out the old sinuses tonight. It's snowing there, huh? Wow. We have a 60-degree day, and it's snowing there. Wow. You can keep the snow, though, Pat. I've had enough of it. I did get to chisel out and remove about 8 inches of solid ice, a path about 8 foot long by about 10 foot wide, all solid ice there. I felt like I was out there ice fishing. No, you can keep it. You can dump it off Midwest on the way. Just kind of let it slide off the truck on the way. You can deliver an empty truck. $38 out there, huh, Kim? Well, you're colder than us. We're normally the cold one around, but we finally got a little bit of warm. But she's going to start dipping back down again. tried to tap some maple trees, and the weather is so up and down and stuff. You need a nice warm day and then a cold night back and forth like that to get the sap flowing good, and it's not doing a very good job right now. Hopefully I haven't going to run that snowblower much more this year. I've had just about enough of that. I've got quite a bit of rheumatoid arthritis, and I'll tell you, when you get ice storms in behind and you have layers of ice in between and whatnot, you run that machine in around, it's slipping and sliding, and I've had just about enough of it this year. Of course, it's better than a shovel, though, too, so. That feels awful funny to be on the high end of the weather degree scale here. Other than I think it was look back to that. I think it was Tim was 81, something like that. I think it was. I'm not sure. I think I look back there. I'm pretty sure it was Tim 81 degrees. So he's the highest, I guess. Blow it down Danny's way, huh? I think he's had enough snow this year. It's funny, down Texas way, down Christie's way, she's in very south Texas, down near the coast, and they had snow, I think twice, maybe 3 times this year. Very, very unusual for down there. Yeah. Yeah, knowing Danny, how good he is at gardening and stuff, he get a bunch of snow, he just make some snowball trees and harvest snowballs and put them in the freezer. I know Danny, that's exactly what will happen. He'd bring them out and throw a little bit of mashed up strawberries on them and have snow cones. I'm a little behind on your videos there, Rain. What do you got coming up through here? I've got them all in my email, but they're coming out pretty slow. I mean, well, no, they're not coming out slow. I'm doing them slow. Oh, I've got so much stuff going on here. So what's going on with the chicken run this year with you, Pat? I'm a little mixed up in exactly what you're doing with the run. Are you extending the run or covering it, or making the chicken coop bigger and you're going to get some more chickens, or what? I don't know if everything froze up or everybody decided to run to the restroom. There we go. Ah, that's what it was. Closing in the garden and keeping the chickens out. Sometimes that can be a hard thing, especially young chickens. I noticed When you have real young chickens, sometimes the fence height doesn't make any difference at all. They'll fly up pretty good. So sometimes you got to put a few pieces of wire across the top. I've had some of those young New Hampshire Reds up on the roof already, and I was really surprised. I think in one of my last videos a ways back, it shows a chicken there up on the roof. Ah, I've never been a fan of mobile pens. I don't mind one every once in a while. I'm thinking about taking some of the breeders that I'm going to be breeding and put them in a mobile pen with a fence around it and move it around like sort of like a chicken tractory type thing. But I've always liked the a large coop, large runs. This way here, you know, if you can't get them out, you know, a lot of predators around, you still have a large run to work with. And but I let mine out quite a bit. You know, you gotta keep them, you know, keep them aware of the predators and stuff. That's why I always like to keep not only roosters, but I like to keep a couple older chickens. They may not be producing an awful lot of eggs for you, but the older chickens, especially if you keep an eye on your flock and you find an old hen that, you know, that's very aware and she knows what's going on and stuff. Sometimes that's a valuable commodity right there. So when they're out foraging around in the yard or in the edge of a field or something, they'll let everybody else know about it, and that means a lot right there. She may only lay an egg once a week or so, but that type of help is well worth it, well worth her weight. There you go. Chicken in cannon jars. Excuse me. The nice thing about chicken in cannon jars is you don't have to feed them. You know, you don't have to clean up after them. Now, do you do a raw pack, Tim, or do you like to cook them, parboil them, or cook them first and pack them with the broth? I know a lot of people like it different ways. The only way I've ever done my chicken in something like that has been packed in broth. I don't like it raw. I like it. I like them. They're probably 3/4 of the way. I'd say they're rare when I cook them. Then I pack them in. You can get a little bit more in the jar. And then I take the broth, I strain out the broth so you don't get any of that white stuff in there, and I add just a touch of salt to it and strain that broth out, and I add the broth to it and can from there. Yeah, a lot of people do the raw pack. There's a few out there that do the cook like I do, but I prefer the texture of the meat is what I've got to have. I like the cooked pack myself. Same way with I'm doing. I noticed when you was doing your roast there. I mean, not you, Rain. I'm sorry. Jamie over at Gilbert Farm. She was doing cold pack, raw pack, and I've done raw pack and roast and beef and stuff, but I still prefer it cooked. I like that brown flavor that you can get in the juice and the flavorings and stuff, and you can get a little bit more meat in there, and then that juice is. It makes it a lot better gravy, and you can do a lot more things with it. To me, anyways, that's my opinion, and I guess that's all that counts. And if the jar is in our cupboard, but everybody's got their own opinion and like it different ways. Yeah, I don't even like. I'm not a big hamburger eater as far as out of a jar. I've got to have it fresh, you know, fresh or frozen. I've had some of it. You know, in brown, like you're talking about it. It's not bad for making tacos or spaghetti sauce and stuff like that, but it's one of those meats that, you know, and it's got a lot to do if you're grinding your own, too. Is that 40-inch poultry and poultry and ghost fence, okay. That Premier stuff there with the electric fence and stuff? Or are you talking about just a metal wire, Pat? Comes with 1 roll of electrified fence and 1 jar of barbecue sauce. and 2 appetites. That's what you do. Yeah, that has the wire strand. It's probably the Premier stuff, isn't it? The Premier brand. There's not too many of those around. You must be itching to get your solar oven out, aren't you, Rain? How you doing there, country girl? Glad to have you in here. Step right up, grab yourself a cup of coffee, and jump right in the conversation. Heidi and Pat over at Rain Country, they're getting ready to string up some electric wire and putting the chickens out at the same time. So we're having kind of like a barbecue moment. So you got to bring your own plate and utensils. Yeah, you're exactly right there, Rain. That's the exact same what you should be doing if you're thinking about moving, or even if you think it's in the distance. There's no sense in putting permanent structures up, especially that's one of the reasons. I don't know if you've seen some of the videos I made way back at the beginning when I made my coops. A lot of people ask me why I put so much into the coop as far as building wise and how big and strong and everything. I did it for the simple reason is, like I've said before, I live with my son and daughter-in-law, and I have a small apartment-y type over the garage. And what I do is when I build stuff, I want to make sure if they do not eventually, something happens to me or whatever, they don't have and don't want chickens or something, they can clean that all out, paint it up, and they've got storage because it's all hooked to the barn. You can get in any of the coops I've made and walk around and whatnot, and they're all double-walled inside and out. So this way here, you build a chicken coop, a small chicken coop on the low side or whatever, and you've always got a chicken coop. It's not going to be anything else. It's going to be a chicken coop or some kind of coop for some kind of animal. So if you build a solid, large building, tall enough to walk in, at least you have other things you can do with it, if that makes any sense. There you go. Country girl brought her own plates and silverware. Oh, I think Rain would have a hard time with the eating those her brand new Buff Orpingtons there. My granddaughters, we have one Buff Orpington down in the coop, and they nickname her Buffy the Egg Slayer. Oh, they come up with the coolest nicknames. She's one of the original yard birds. I don't think I'm going to cull her out this year because she seems to be going broody lately, and I'll let her set some eggs this year. It don't take much of power to keep coyotes out, or any kind of animal. They don't like any of that electrical zapping. It's got a lot to do with how much wire you got out, how much grass is around, and all that kind of stuff. Well, I hired myself a bunch of chat fairies, country girl, and I stuck them in my computer over here. They're little tiny gerbils, about that tall, actually. And I crammed them in there, give them a little food and water each day, and they produce that for me. Ah. They're probably going to tell you, in our oven or yours? Yeah, that would be a little much. You need to that's the whole idea of the machine itself. It pulls down the wire. I think that would be a hair bit too much. You would definitely have a barbecue then. I don't know. I've looked into that too. We don't need to have collars on them around here, but I've looked into that, and I everything I've looked into that, it's kind of a 50-50 deal with those collars. Some people say, yeah, it calms it down. Other people say no, and whatnot. Yes, I am, country girl. I'm using OBS. A little bit of a learning curve for me, but I like it better than I do the Google Hangout. I'm still learning all the time. Let's put it that way. Hi, JD. How you doing? How you doing this fine evening? Yeah, Kentucky, you could if you hooked it up like that, you could probably do many things with that. Everything from drying the laundry to drying out jerky and many other things. OBS is a broadcasting software that you stream through. It's Open Broadcasting System, actually what it is, or Open Broadcast Software, if you want to get technical, I guess. Exactly. I was thinking the same thing, Pat. Exact same thing. Yeah. I know what you mean, country girl. I've had it, way back when I first started, and I didn't really think I was going to live stream at all anyways, but no, it's not. It's a free service. It's a free software. Just be careful where you download it from. But I didn't think I was going to do any streaming at all. Excuse me. So I never really got into it, and but I've been studying up on it lately and whatnot. Because I'd like to get at least a weekly a live stream in and have it more themed, like some of the other better live streams and stuff. Have it themed with something. So you got a direction to go in as you're doing your stream. I mean, I don't mind this chit chat like this. It's not you get a bunch of people in, you talk about all kinds of different things. It's nice and refreshing, but it's also nice to come on on a particular time on a particular night and have a little bit of some kind of direction you're going in. Let's put it that way. Yeah, that's good, Rain. I like OBS, especially if you have if your internet isn't what it should be or what you'd like it to be. You can do a lot of adjustments OBS. You might not have the best. It might be a hair bit blurrier, but sometimes you have to deal with that and have a strong signal as far as the overall audio and video at the same time, and not have any drops in and outs and whatnot. So it's one of those things that you've got to end up having. You got to have a little bit of oomph in your provider for your internet. That's what I'm trying to say. I'll get it out there sooner or later. I still got my mind on a contraption to make with Pat. I think we're going to get together and patent a multi-use. They have all these multi-use cookers, these air fryers that cook and do this and the whatever pot there. And I think me and Mr. Rain will come up with an idea for electric fence that we can do multiple things. Everything from drying the laundry to cooking, plucking, and cleaning and all that kind of stuff. I think we could do it. I really do. I'll start looking for some backers, Pat. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that, country girl. I don't mind that. It's just that I'd like to have a one that's at least one night that I can come on and we can talk about either chickens or cooking or one particular thing or something like that. Share recipes, all kinds of things. Yeah, I think the one thing you got to have to built into both ends of that device there when you build that, Pat, is a fire extinguisher. Or either a cell phone at each end to call the fire department, one or the other. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm going to do, country girl. I'm going to do some very short, they're more technique-y type cooking stuff than I am going to do as far as long recipes. So keep things short, interesting. The whiz-bang chicken processor. There you go. Oh, I'm probably going to get hated for this one here, but it's the type of thing that you'd want to have your mother-in-law come over and help you run. I didn't mean that to all the mother-in-laws out there. I just had to get it in there. How you doing, Barnyard? Cooking Demons Country. Oh. Got to put your glasses on there, Heidi. That's good. What do you got going on tonight, Barnyard? Yeah, that's a good idea. I know you people out there that do your videos and stuff, and you always got an extra person to do your camera work for you at the same time. And I'll tell you, I envy you guys because everything I do is always alone. Everything from editing it to making it. I get my granddaughters involved in it every once in a while. It's kind of hard to have them run the camera because they're kind of like off into seeing squirrels in different directions and stuff. It doesn't come out exactly right, but they try. And you know, it's hard to do everything at the same time, you know, yourself as far as camera work and get the angles right and have it come out. I'm a picky person when it comes to it, so the simplest 2 or 3 minute shoot sometimes takes me half a day. Good evening, Grizz. How you doing? Allie Oakley, how you doing tonight? Thanks for coming in. Yeah, I love a tripod. Rain, do you make aprons too? Which we could remove, of course. Oh. I'm calling the patent office right now, Pat. We're going to get a patent pending on it right now. I'll have to get together with you, Rain. I'm looking, I don't care about the chicken and the goat type. I'm looking for a basic cooking apron, just a basic style men's apron, kind of plain Jane. Nothing fancy, just some nice rugged material. And I'll have to get together with you and see what we can come up with. Do you have any little logos that you have or anything? Maybe you can come up with a little small logo up in the right-hand corner, left-hand corner, a little advertisement for you or something, or on the edge of a pocket or something. Chris says, y'all remember my doctor friend in your prayers. 7 years ago, he had one time. Yeah, he had a one-time patient now, and they are trying. He's an awesome vet. Practice now. Okay. You don't have a glass or a can of that mountain water in your possession, do you, right now, Grizz? How you doing there, Kim? Didn't see you come in the first time. Did you finally get that taken care of when you was trying to duel up with Liz from over at across the pond? Yeah, not exactly ruffled. No, I'd like to get just to kind of just to square it off, but I want something that's got some meat to it. And I know home made things are a lot better. I'm almost looking for like a not a canvas, but kind of a light canvas. You don't what type of sewing machine do you have, Rain? You don't have like a cam style sewing machine that you can do letter patterns with or anything, the old drop-in cam type? Oh, excuse me again. Well, that's how we all learn, Kim. When you was asking me about Google and stuff, I couldn't tell you exactly how to do Google. I have never done a live stream on Google. I started right out on OBS, and I've been running uphill ever since. How you doing, Harrison? I don't know who you're at. I love your videos. There's a lot of people in here that do some great videos. So I take it you're telling everybody that. A trundle machine. Oh, you're not talking about a trundle machine like in the old foot trundle. So informational. Well, I try. I don't know how informational they are. Well, the Yardbirds give out quite a bit of information. Let's put it that way. It's worth a try, Kim. But just to let you know, there is a little bit of a learning curve. You've got to do a few things and stuff, and the most important thing is getting all your numbers right and your settings and stuff in that area, because you can't. A lot of the numbers and stuff aren't right. That you're not going to have a very good time. But there's a lot of good videos out there and a lot of good tutorials on it. Wow, I figured. You figure Pat hasn't made a little motor to go on that thing yet? I've seen some of those trundles converted over to a motor. Little what do you call it, with a little pedal on it there, variable speed pedal motor. Well, it does and it doesn't, Rez. You can, Grizz, you can calm it down and bring it way down and stuff. You just got to fool with it. You got to fool with it. But if you're right, if you're way down, you're better off to go with Google. But I've seen some people with low internets and still do pretty good on OBS. It's just like I say, it's all in how you do your settings. You got to work with the settings and work with the computer that you've got along with your internet. They all got to work together. Oh, do you have a speedometer on there? Ah, that's right. Yeah, you got a speedometer on there, and one of these days you're going to get so many orders, and you're going to have that thing cranking so fast that you're going to hear a knock on the door, and the first thing you're going to hear when you open that door is it's the trundle. No, I'm sorry. It's the sewing machine trundle police. And you're speeding. They'll give you a ticket. Foot power. That's your upload or your download, Grizz? She'd probably break the Fitbit. It would probably go bananas on her. Well, you got plenty to run OBS then. I mean, you don't need anywhere near 12 kbs's for to run OBS. That's kbps's, right? Kilobytes per second you're talking, right? Yeah, I was just going to suggest that just a little while ago. You know, on those, make sure, Pat, that she's doing her sewing on gray days, on rainy gray days. Hook it up to the battery banks and the generator, and she'll keep those batteries topped off for you. And, you know, if the sewing orders kind of start coming in slow, you go to a payphone someplace, you know, and use a fake voice and throw in some orders. If that's for me, Mark, I've got a total of 51 foul down there. I'm going to leave it at foul because I got some various different things. I've got the old crew that I have down there. In the larger coop, I've got 31 birds in there, but I've got a couple, 3 guineas, and that's kind of a mixed flock of a bunch of red sex links, some black sex links, buff Orpington. Trying to think what else we got in there. We got an Australorp or 2, and some various other things. Those are some of the older chickens. And then I have the smaller coop with the New Hampshire Reds in it, and those just started laying this year. Probably they've been laying for about 4, maybe 5 weeks now. And a couple roosters and 2 Easter eggers and 2 Jersey Giants. They're all the same age. That coop is all the same age birds. So we're all over the place as far as chickens go. We're getting about 2 dozen eggs a day right now. Yeah, we go up and down. I'm raising some New Hampshire Reds, but they're going to be a little late this year because we got the breeding stock a little on the late side. So my first chicks coming out will probably I'll cross my New Hampshire Red roosters with my 4. I got 4. I'm trying to think of the name of the things. I can't even think of their. I can't even think of the names of them right now. They're a white rock type chicken. I can't even think of the name of them right now. I'm so tired tonight. But basically, what you get when you get those is you get a sex link. In other words, yeah, I sell most of my eggs. We eat our eggs, and I have a couple relatives that take some, but the rest of them we all sell. I probably make enough to feed them, to feed the chickens, and that's about all I do. You're not going to make a killing selling eggs. There's no doubt about that, unless you've got hundreds and hundreds of chickens. But it's just not feasible to really. Egg prices are so low everywhere that people don't care about it. They just want it. But I've got certain customers around here that want some natural eggs, good quality eggs, and I have enough customers to keep them going. But I'll have a good-sized batch of 2 or 3 batches of the red sex links to sell off. I'll keep a few. I like the sex links for they lay really well right through the year, so I like having those around. Yeah, you're right, Kim. Well, I don't know about if it's all fun, but I like to break out even, and it puts a little meat in the freezer. You put plenty of eggs. You know, as long as I can break out even and not put a lot in it. You might go backwards a little bit in the wintertime, depending on what you have for breeds of chickens and what stage of life they're in. I try to keep 3 stages. I like to keep new chickens coming in that are going to lay right through the winter for you. The middle chickens that are in, like the 2-year-olds, they're going to lay a little bit, but they're going to also be in the middle of molting throughout the fall and into the winter. And then you got the older chickens, and they're going to be also molting throughout the fall and winter, but they're not going to lay as much, anyways. So I try to keep it in thirds. Let's put it that way. Just built a chicken coop. Are they doing a project, some type of project for learning or whatever? Or is the cafeteria going to start serving omelets? Yeah, they're pretty good sized. They're not as big as you might be getting confused with the Jersey Giants. I have a couple black Jersey Giants down there, and they're only about a little over 6 months old, and they're actually a little bit bigger than the Australops right now, and Australop's a good-sized chicken. The Jersey Giants, the hens can be anywhere from 10, 11 pounds, just the hens, and the roosters get well over 10 pounds, 12, 13 pounds on the Jersey Giants. They're a very, very slow-growing chicken, though. It takes a while for them to mature out. They're really leggy right now and putting on some height and width. And this coming spring, they'll fill out pretty good. Now that's the time to put them. You try to throw a group, even if it's a small group, in each spring, and keep them rotating out. The trouble is what a lot of people go through is they have a hard time getting rid of them. So, you started with a rotation of, we'll say, 7 chickens, and then your second year you got 14, and the third year you got 21, and you go into the next year, you're supposed to be getting rid of 7 and bringing in another 7, and then all of a sudden you got 28, and so on and so on, and pretty soon you got 50, 60 chickens, and half of them aren't laying, and you're just feeding them, and then they're getting to the point where they start dying off on you, and they're not great for meat, so, you're going downhill from there, let's put it that way. Potbelly pig, I name it football. How you doing, Mark? Thanks for stopping by. How are you tonight? I got to go back and chat here and catch up a little bit. I get rambling myself and I lose chat altogether. Okay, we're talking about the chicken coop. Yeah. Now I'm trying to see what they were doing with the chicken coop. Did I miss that? Oh, okay. Yeah, you're talking David from Northeast Homestead? Okay, now I remember you're talking about. Yep, yep. David from Northeast. All right, Biddy. You have a good night. Thank you for stopping by. It's always a pleasure to have you stop by and show your support. I appreciate it very, very much. You have a good evening now. My favorite breed of chicken, Kim, huh? I don't really have. I like chickens as wholes. More than a breed, I would say I have some favorite personalities, because all your chickens have personalities. If you look back through some of my videos, some of the older videos, when I have the original what I call the Yardbird crew that helped me build the chicken coop and stuff, I've got some originals back there. I got a black sex link called Big Mama. She's kind of the ruler of the roost. And since I've got the guineas, well, she got knocked down on peg or two, so she isn't happy with that. I could do a whole video on that whole attitude type thing, but I fall in love with the different attitudes other than the chickens themselves. But I like the Orpingtons. I like the Jersey Giants, the Easter Eggers. I'm not real picky when it comes to them. I really like the guineas. They are a pain in the butt, a lot of noise and everything, but they're a lot of fun to watch. But like I said, I think I fall in love with the different attitudes the different chickens have, and they're all a little different. There you go. How you doing, David? Or maybe, is this the David we're talking about? Okay, I was talking about a different David. Yeah, yeah, I've got a big red too. The way that my roosters got their names, I had 7 roosters. I wanted to get 20 New Hampshire Reds, and I wanted to go through and once they got to be a little bit bigger age, and I wanted to go through and I'm going to show a video on some of this stuff here too. I wanted to see which roosters I wanted to keep, which hens I wanted to keep, and whatnot, and go from there. But the 2 that I picked, I needed to put bands on them, so I put a couple ties on them, clear ties on them. I didn't have any colored ones, and I took a magic marker, a permanent magic marker. One was blue and one was red. So of course the granddaughters end up naming them Big Red and Blue Boy. So we got Big Red and a Blue Boy. 2 good roosters. Yeah, that would be a good idea. Okay, I was thinking he was talking about Dave from Northeast Homestead. My apologies. Are you in the project of the school chicken coop? Ah, I see. What are we talking about in school? Are we talking about high school or middle grades or college or? Thank you, Mr. Rain. Yeah. I college. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. You didn't happen to send me your buddy send me a thing on my Facebook page, did you? I'm not a big face. I know I have a Facebook page and I have one for Yankee Livn, and I really got to attack that a little bit better. Christy said she would help me with Facebook a little more. I am not very media savvy when it comes to Facebook and Twitter and like that, and I know it would help the channel out a lot, but I apologize if I didn't get to you. Excuse me. Oh, I see. I hear you with the Buff Orpingtons, Heidi. And just because a lot of people say a particular breed is friendlier than others and stuff, I've had a whole flock of chickens before that's supposed to be this and that, and not anywhere near it. I still think a lot of the temperament is in breeding and stuff, but a lot of it's got to be how they're raised themselves, especially if you're buying older birds. Some of the birds, the Easter Eggers and the Jersey Giants, I bought when they were, 18 weeks, I think it was. And they didn't want to be anywhere near anybody. And I don't mind that. I don't want them to be mean or anything, but I don't mind the chickens not being wanted to picked up because a little bit better, you start getting predators coming around, dogs and cats and all kinds of other things coming around. You want them to be a little bit scared and whatnot. So if they don't want to be picked up, I don't make them or anything like that. I figure if I'm going to do something with a chicken, the best way to pick up a chicken is at night. You have a problem with a chicken, wait, and it's not real serious. Wait till night. Go out in the chicken coop with flashlight. You can grab a hold of chicken, take it to another area, put some light on it, and you can get the problems taken care of and whatnot. That's the best way to handle it. If you chase a chicken around trying to pick it up and stress it out, you're just compounding whatever the problems are. Snickers to self. Your mom goes to college. Is she a teacher? Oh. Ah. The corn shucking one. That was originally, that was funny how that video became. It's funny how you start to do a video and something turns all the way around. Originally, I got, like I say, my daughter-in-law's father raises all kinds of vegetables and tons of corn. He's famous for his corn around this area, and he sells. Oh, he's got acres and acres of cornfields, sweet and Forder corn. But we got a bunch of bushels of corn that was left over, and I was putting it out to dry, and I was going to do some chucking with it and stuff, and I didn't want to go out and buy an expensive machine, so we came up with that idea. And actually, we didn't save an awful lot as far as binning it up or anything like that. We kept it dry and kept the cobs whole, put them in a bin. And when I wanted to, like in the picture, when I wanted to give some to the chickens, I had that apparatus I built, and it would pop them everywhere. When I first built it, it was just a tube, and that works fine with the blades that I put in it, the screw blades in it, and that works fine if you're just going to save the kernels themselves because it drops straight down into a container. It's not so fine if you're trying to feed chickens with it because it drops it right down at your feet. Now, if you picture, half a cup of kernels dropping right down on your feet and sometimes in your boots and everything else, and you have 50 chickens around, you know what happens. It's feeding frenzy time. And sometimes you're part of the feeding. So So I drilled some holes in it so it would splatter it around here and there and stuff. So I never did get the part where I had it without the holes, and I really should have. I'm going to go back and redo that a little bit. That got quite a few hits. I'm not sure, 4,000 or 5,000 hits that that's a lot for me anyways. Because it's not a bad idea for this person that's got a small farm that does a little bit of corn and they don't want to do it by hand, and because it does work well. Let's put it that way. Long story. Sorry. Excuse me just for a minute. I need a little water here. What do we got for videos coming up, Pat? Anything interesting besides a noodle board? Heidi, what do you watch your YouTubes on? Like what you're watching on right now? What type of device are you watching it on? Same goes with Mr. Rain, Pat. Are you guys watching on the same device or separate devices or? Ah, so it's going to be built right on the countertop, or is it going to be something that's going to be like a pull-out? I have a pull-out. I never use it as a pull-out, but I've got a butcher block that's about, I don't know, it's got to be 12, 14 inches wide by a couple feet long, and it's designed to pull out below the knives that are in there and stuff, but I never use it like that. I bring it right out and I throw it on the counter. I'm technically challenged. I don't believe that for a minute. I've seen some of the things you do. Okay. Yeah, so the chat that's on the screen that comes up through, have you watched the video, one of the videos on replay yet? That's what I've been asking people if you don't have to watch the whole thing, but if you click on it sometime on replay, and that's when the chat comes up and it really makes sense. I'm just asking different people with different devices, everything from laptops to PCs to even phone devices. I guess a lot of people watch things on their phone and stuff. I'm really surprised. I was talking to, I don't know, 4 or 5 people the other day there, and there was 5 or 6 people in the room, and I think all of them either had a phone or a very small tablet. I could never do that. That would drive me up a wall to try to do, watch a YouTube or do something on a little phone or a tablet, a little small tablet. With an edge. 3-sided edge or edge all the way around? End of my T. 28 by 24. That's a good size board. Lace maple. Ah. Now I haven't watched, pardon me and I'm sorry, but I have not watched your noodle board videos. I'm not exactly sure how you put them together. They are in my emails, let's put it that way. It's on my list. I've made regular cutting boards, nothing fancy or anything like that. I don't know exactly how you put them. Do you glue yours together? Do you screw them? the 2 cutting boards that I made, which were very large cutting boards and 1.5 inch thick stock, they were all maple, all stripped out. And I actually drilled through in 3 points. And I put threaded rod through and countersinked it in with plugs on the end and stuff that were removable, so you could actually tighten up that. You know how wood contracts back and forth and stuff when you try to glue it together with doweling and stuff. Every once in a while, you could actually take one end off and actually tighten it up and pull it together. But just an idea in there that I had come up with. I think I actually saw that from Norm. Was it Norm Avram, or I think it's Norm from Yankee Wood Shop that used to be on PBS. Edge in front that stays against the counter, and in the back has a lip comes up. Okay. So the one in front that stays against the counter, that's pointing down, so it's running up against the counter? Or has that one got an edge on it to hold things in too? What was my inspiration? You know, that's funny you should say that, because I've got a tag coming up that Gilbert Farms, Jesse and Jamie and Jeremy tagged me in, and that's one of the questions. I really, you know, the answer is like a lot of other channels out there and a lot of other people's. It actually came down to, I was well into thinking about building and doing different things here along with my granddaughters, and it was really my oldest granddaughter, and at the time I think she was only 8, maybe 9, 8 I think, and she was watching a little bit of YouTube, and she does this Minecraft stuff, and she is such a wit at getting in there and building things in this Minecraft game, and very good at it and stuff. And when we started building and stuff, and she was helping me, getting her involved and stuff and whatnot. And I kind of looked ahead and see what some of the other things that we were getting ready to do as far as the building goes and stuff. And I kind of think that kind of inspired me when she started talking about putting it on YouTube and doing this and doing that. And she started showing me some of the other building things and chickens and various different things. So between that and you know, whatever's on there, if they don't help me with, you know, they can look at it years later. I'm sure YouTube will be around. We probably won't be watching it the way we are now. It'll probably, you push a button and, you know, a hologram will come up out of the ceiling, and it'll be just, you'll be floating, you know, past videos be floating in midair and whatnot. But I guess that's pretty much what inspired me to not leave a legacy per se, but to leave something behind, you know, for, you know, see how things were done back then, and just to share the time with my granddaughters, and to let me go back in time a little bit, and even the 3 or 4 years, you know, since I've been here with my in my sons and daughter-in-law's house here, just a few videos that I've done that I haven't put on YouTube, just some various different videos and stuff of teaching Libby how to ride a bike and some various other things and stuff. Just going back and watching those every now and then, you know, it kind of reminds me of some of the things that are the reasons why I'm doing the YouTube and stuff, so we can go back and look at things. I get long-winded, I know, but this one of the reasons why I have a hard time putting the videos together sometimes. I get so long-winded that I stop and edit about 30,000 things. You know, I got to really learn to do short little takes and then edit those together. It works so much better doing that. I've done that in the past, but doing it, telling yourself to do it and do it is another thing. But to answer your question, I hope that answered your question, Dave. That's pretty much the way what started me on it anyways. And some of the other inspirations as far as keeping going with it is just helping people out, if and showing people the way I do it might not necessarily be the way that they're going to do it, or it's going to work for them in their area, but at least I can share what I'm doing and what works for me. And in turn, if if they try it and it works for them, hey, it's all the better. That's the way I look at it. Have I thought about merch? Like selling merchandise or something like that? Is that what you're talking about? How you doing, the boy that ate one? That's a mouthful for a name, for such a short name. The boy I ate one. I thought of it. Usually that comes with time a little bit. You take a channel like Mr. Rain and Heidi's, Mr. and Mrs. Rain, Heidi and Pat's channel. I mean, they got quite a few more actually supporters than I have and stuff. When you get that base of support and that broad of support, you can look into some of those ventures and stuff, and open up some different things and stuff. And I'm sure something like that. I thought about having a Yardbird T-shirt. And maybe have a few pictures. I've got a few pictures saved of the original Yardbirds and stuff, and maybe having something like that done up. I thought about it, but I don't know exactly what's going on with it. But it passes through my mind. But I want the channel to grow a little bit. Oh heck, I just lost my monetization on it. And I haven't got the time in it yet. I've still got another 50,000 minutes to go. Today was my birthday. And I've had a lot of happy birthdays and stuff and whatnot going around today, and I had a great day. I mean, the only thing I asked for was to have a nice warm day today, and we had the warmest day of the year so far. So it hit 60 degrees. It hasn't been like that since back in late September, early October. But I look at it as like, yeah, I like to do it eventually. That's the best way I can do it. But I want my channel to grow a lot more. I've got a long ways to go, let's put it that way, before I do something like that. That's the best way I can put it for you, Mark. Yeah, I thought the same thing. Mugs, those types of things. Thank you for the happy birthday. Yeah, I'm 39 again. Oh. I bet your classmates and you're taking up business, I'll bet. Am I somewhere near the right, the baseline there? Thank you, David. What, you don't... That's not convincible, Mr. Ray? 39? It worked for Jack Benny. Ah, computer science. Yeah. It worked for Jack Benny for his whole career. Oh. Architecture student. That's why you watch my first videos. He was checking out to make sure I was putting the headers in the right place and all the jack studs and everything. I see. I actually took a little bit of architecture reading and stuff when I was a general contractor and stuff. I needed a little bit of that and stuff, but I wasn't a large general contractor, but we did quite a few buildings, garages, and small camps and houses and stuff. What do you put on your noodle boards, Pat? Do you put like a some type of oil, like I'm trying to think, a edible type oil on it? I can guarantee you one thing: I overbuilt those coops. That's the one thing. That's the one thing in comments on some of the coops that I built, some of the walls and stuff. You know, that's what I was gonna. I was gonna suggest that. That's what I thought you was gonna say. Yeah. Now that coconut oil, do you need to warm that up quite a bit? Use it hot so it'll soak in good. I know when I go to do my knife handles, I've got a few different knife handles. A couple of my favorite knives, I've got actually the old wood handles on them, and I like the steel that's on those particular knives. And sometimes there are certain people in the house. I'm not going to name any names or anything because they watch this show too. And they'll lay that knife in the sink, and that's the worst place to put a wooden handled knife, or in the dishwasher, which is even worse because it's so hot in there that it just seams the wood and swells up. But I will warm up in a little ceramic ramekin or a glass ramekin and warm it up and nice and warm, and then I'll paint it on and let it soak, wipe the excess off, warm it up again. I do that about 3 times until it won't take anymore, and then I kind of buff it out and put it away and stuff. The minute I use a knife, I wash it off soap and water and the blade off and wipe it and put it away. I'm not one that leaves the knives in the sink to get all banged up and whatnot. How you doing, Sophie? Sophia's got a cooking show, mostly Indian-style cooking, and I'll tell you, she's got some great recipes on there. Some of the bread-type style recipes from that culture, I've never tried them, but really look good. I'm going to try some of those recipes. Thanks for coming in. How you doing tonight? Oh, I already saw the good down. All I got to do is read it. Yeah. Thank you, Pat. Well, you know as I know, it's a lot of people that they don't realize. It's not that they're trying to hurt your knives or anything. They just don't realize it, and they don't wash it out. In today's society, everything gets washed a little later or thrown in the dishwasher, and there's a lot of things that some of these knife sets that you buy, $300-400 for a small knife set, and when a lot of people look and see on the box, it says, "Do not microwave," and they don't understand that. You're buying it costs $300 for a knife set. I can't microwave it. It's the worst thing you can do for a knife, really. Not only for the handle, depending on what the handles are, but you don't need your good steel bouncing around with other steel pieces and whatnot. All right, here's Carter. Don't make me feel like a professor in here and I have to start waving a wand around or, things get out of hand. I'll put you guys in the corner with the old dunce hat and the stool there. Welcome to the channel, Carter. Yeah, that's some of the stuff that Indian fry bread. Oh, some of the different ones she was making there. I've watched quite a few of her shows, and I love it. We'll definitely take a look at it. Sounds good to me. take any class. Oh, somebody is making my head swell here. I love different turkey recipes. I think turkey is a very underused meat. You can use it in so many different ways. And the nice thing about turkey, you can treat it various different ways. I don't know if you guys have ever had homemade or even bought. You can buy it, and it's good. But I've made it homemade, turkey pastrami or something like that. I'm trying to think of that. Like a turkey ham style out of the turkey thighs and stuff work really good. Really nice products. I know you and Mr. Rain and Mrs. Rain don't eat an awful lot of pork, and I know you're trying to stay away from that. But that's a way, if you happen to like ham and some other different products and stuff, you take a good turkey ham made, bought or made yourself is a good product. What's the question for, Harris? Is that for Sophie or Mrs. Rain and Mr. Rain or myself? Or there we go. Sophia got it. Chicken and fish. Yeah, two of my favorites. I think my classification when it comes to things like that is I can classify it all into one word: meat. I'm a meat lover. And I like it all. I like fish, chicken, beef, pork. I like about everything. What's your favorite, Pat? Excuse me. Yeah, I knew he was going to say that. Meat. I love all kinds of meat. Did you catch me when I said that about the turkey ham and the turkey pastrami? Have you ever tried that? It's very good, especially if you like spices. There you go. Elk, deer, beef, chicken. Thank you for coming in, Sophia. Have a great day now. I'll be watching more videos. You sound like you're from Maine. Do you think? Yeah. Have a good one, Sophia. I haven't got much of an accent, though. There she is. How you doing, Christy? Are you home now, or are you on your way home? Oh, my God. Now you're talking, Mr. Rain. I love fish. We used to have lingcod on the East Coast here, run up the Kennebec River. You could catch in the wintertime by jigging them, coming up the little small streams and stuff, the little small ones. Real small, not the big ones, but the small ones. and they had a season for them. Whereabouts in Maine are you from? Yeah, that's what I thought. You be careful. You don't need to be texting things and driving at the same time. You have a hard time keeping the car on the road as it is. I'm going to pay for that comment. I guarantee you that. Pittsfield, just outside of Bangor. Know it very well. Just south of Bangor, I should say. Yeah, the lingcod I'm talking about is a little bit different. It still comes out of the ocean, but they're the small. I can't remember what they're called exactly, Pat. But they are juveniles. But they get so many of them on the coast here that they allow. They used to allow. I'm not sure if they do now, but years ago they used to allow in the wintertime. They'd come up through the river and they'd come up some of the different tributaries, and you could actually, believe it or not, the way they did it, they either netted them or you could actually snag them. People would take like a coat hanger type wire with a handle on it, bend it up, and you would chisel a hole through a stream like water rushing through, and you just pull them up one at a time until you had, I think you were allowed like a 5-gallon bucket full of them or something like that, or 2, I can't remember. But most people would smoke them. They would split them open, leave the hides on, split them in half with the hides and head on them, pull the guts out, rinse them down. I think they would soak them in a brine solution for a while and then put them in a smoker. Smoke them. How you doing there, Hunter? Boy, I'll tell you, we've gone from the other night we were on, we had all Texas people in here. I felt like saying howdy to everybody all the time, and I swear I could smell Texas barbecue too. I don't know if it's all in my head, but I swear that's what I could smell. But now we got Mainers in here. Yeah, I'd have to get the name for you. I can't remember what the actual species is, but I know they were young, and I remember talking to Fish and Game, and they were saying they were hurting the regular codfish industry for a while. Howdy, oh, you're not from Texas, Mr. Rain. Oh, Boston, yeah. Yeah, they already know. We've had the conversation. I'm going to be 39. They already know that. Some of them didn't quite believe it, but I don't know. To each his own. I'm just an old-looking 39. Oh. Boy, how big is that room, guys? What's that, the 5th one? You guys must have triple bunk beds in there. Thank you, Carter. No, we can't add another year. Good God. Oh. Wow. I hope you guys all like the same kind of music and the same kind of food and stuff. Oh, yeah, we're talking college here. So let me guess. We're talking pizza and ramen noodles, the top 2 foods. Cup of noodle. Yeah. Excuse me. Yep. And how many times a week does the smoke alarm go off in that room or in those rooms? 'Cause I'm sure there's a toaster oven or two in around there, and a microwave, and some college-sized refrigerators, and luckily never. Oh. Don't make her type anymore, Mr. Rain. She's driving home. My word. We aren't allowed to have anything. We can't have a hot plate. Ah. Well, I guess the old microwave pulls right in there pretty good. So that takes out toaster ovens too? That's what I was told, David. I kind of chuckled at the corn video one. I appreciate you watching, though. It did become pretty popular. A lot of frozen food. I bet there is. Oh. There wouldn't be any takeout or anything like that happened to be coming to the door at all. Wow, have a stove. That's moving up then. Do they you got to move to a different location, or is it in the same building? Ah, a lot of dominoes. And I take it ain't the little domino bones type of dominoes playing on the table. I'm not a big fan of Domino's. Out of all the different pizza places and stuff, I'm not a big fan. Hot plates, butter knives. Oh. Yeah, I will be right back, guys. Just give me about 2 minutes and I will be right back. Talk about, pizza and amongst yourselves and whatnot, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm sorry. Mother Nature called. Right outside this window is a roof line, and we have snow and ice on the roof, and I can hear it hitting the pavement out here, and there's like a little puddle out there. Well, actually a good-sized puddle, and it's drip, 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 drip. You know, it's bad enough that you've got to go. It's bad enough to hear that drip, drip, drip. There, if you know what I mean. Yeah, we got a whole band of college kids in here. Well, I couldn't call them kids, young men. Sounds like a great group of college kids, or young men, I should say. All right, Mr. Rain, I probably missed you already, but have a good one now. Good night, Heidi. Good night, Pat. Are you home now, Christy? Are we finally home? Is are the roads safe now? How you doing there, dog? Didn't see you come in. Think you must have come in on my little break there. You still in here? I guess we lost dog. Oh, there we go. How you doing? Another one also from Maine. Lived next door to the college. What are you guys hollering out your windows? You guys holler out your windows and collecting people here? I appreciate it, though. All the support I can get that watch time up there. I appreciate it very, very much. I didn't say anything about your driving. I was just saying the roads are safe. That's all. I wasn't meaning it one way or another. Oh. Oh, we don't want to bore anybody, Carter. Yeah, I think I'm a ways away from having T-shirts made up. I think the channel base has got to grow a little bit bigger before I start getting shirts made up. But it's a good idea. Coffee cup shirts, hats, yeah, Yardbird hats and T-shirts and stuff. It's not a bad idea. I just need to grow the channel just a little bit. I appreciate you thinking of me. This is some of the best stuff on YouTube. Wow. I do appreciate the support, though. Well, it is getting ready to wind down here, guys. I appreciate you all coming in. The whole, what do we got? Six people here from the school area. Is that what we got? I missed it here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's at least 5. Oh my word. I appreciate it. I really got to get out of here. Oh, I appreciate it very, very much. I love the support. I like it that you're watching the videos. I'm going to try to get some more videos out and whatnot. I really like the support on that. You know, this has made our night. Well, I hope so. I hope that you're enjoying it. And like I said before, I got to scoot it on out of here and get some things done before the night ends here. Like I say, I appreciate you guys coming out. So until next time, you know what's coming. If you watch any of my videos, you know exactly what I'm getting ready to say. Until next time, wherever you are in your neck of the woods, be it morning, noon, or night, I hope you're all having a great one. Take care now. God bless. Thank you, guys.